During the 2024 Paris Olympics, we saw many great clothing campaigns. We had Puma's Forever Faster, or You've Got This from Adidas. But one campaign stood out in particular, not because of how it encouraged its athletes, but rather its reflection on the competition. It was Nike's Winning Isn't For Everyone. This is Campaign Unveiled, where we are analyzing great fashion campaigns so that you can learn how to tell great stories, build strong communities, and sell products at the same time. Throughout this video, you're going to be seeing campaign content with increasingly more views, starting with only 70K, which is actually pretty good, but not for Nike, because then we'll analyze a 4 million view video campaign. And later on, we'll be getting to an 18 million view video campaign. To be honest, I didn't even know Instagram had that many people. So here's the first post that we'll be looking at. It's called Goal Getters, and this got 36,000 likes, which is pretty good, but the lowest of all the videos and pieces of content that we're going to be looking at today. And the thing that I think is really interesting about what they're doing here is showing people in the height of their emotion. It's the moment they've won. I think this girl, this is when she crosses the finish line. This is after he crossed the finish line too at his 100 meters. This is the Paralympic triathlon. You can see he's there, he's got his hands over his face, and it's just absolutely packed with emotion. I think where many brands go wrong in the beginning is they set themselves up to create content only about their product. And the problem is there's no real emotional connection with a product. However, when you create content about people and the lives that they live, and it's related to the lifestyle behind your brand, that's when I can really connect with this, because I understand what it feels like to win something. Unless you're a loser, in which case you really don't. But in all seriousness, everyone knows at some point what the feeling is like to win something, or to have all those endorphins going through your blood, and you can see it on their face, and it makes me resonate with the brand in a deeper way, which invites me to become part of their community. The other interesting thing about this post is it's a 3-in-1. We've got 1, 2, 3 different athletes that they're showing here, which I think gives it the maximum potential for shareability. And Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, has been quoted with saying that shares is the best metric and the one to go for, and that's what's going to boost your reach the most. And so actually elevating other people that are in the sporting community and it's relevant to the brand of Nike because of course they're a sporting brand, that's going to boost their engagement overall. Because when I see someone, an athlete that I actually know and I like and I already trust, I'm going to want to share this post to celebrate them. What I don't know I'm doing is I'm also helping Nike sell extra shoes. The question that I ask you, dear clothing brand, is what event can you associate your brand with? Because there's going to be people at that event, and if you can document the experience, you open up yourself to a world of possibilities where people are sharing your posts, where they are supporting your brand simply because you're associating it with real people in the real world. Finally, we're introduced to Winning Isn't For Everyone. This is their campaign, of course, and it's really funny because WIFE, Winning Isn't For Everyone, the acronym says wife. This is Nike's wife, everyone. By the way, at the end of this video, I'm going to be revealing how many views this campaign and all of its content got in total, including all the videos that we can't analyze because there's just so many. And this information literally isn't anywhere else on the internet, and it's going to blow your mind. It took me hours to compile, so make sure you stick around to the end. For now, let's get on to the next piece of content. All right, this next video that we're going to watch is about the runner Charles Antoine Kouakou, and this is a goodie. It got 4.2 million views in reach. Let's watch it now.
On dit que j'ai des problèmes. On dit que je suis différent. On dit que je suis lent.
Something really interesting is that even though Nike is an American company for where it was founded, they're reaching international audiences by including athletes from around the world. And for example here, Charles is French. If I'm from France, I can connect with Nike in a deeper way than I could before, versus if all their content is just in English. The other side of this is that me as an English speaking audience can appreciate the brand as one of diversity. Even though I don't speak French and I don't really understand what's going on here, I can see that their community goes beyond my nation. And if I'm someone that cares about and shares some of the values that Nike has to do with equality and multiculturalism, then I'm really going to be further ingrained into their mission, into their community, and appreciate them more. And it's these little things that don't really have much to do with the product, that more have to do with the values and the mission and the lifestyle that actually ingrain me into their community. All right, let's keep watching the video.
On dit plein de choses sur moi, mais j'ai pas temps pour écouter. Je suis trop occupé à gagner.
C'est Kouakou.
What you'll notice is that throughout this clip, they're using a technique called parallel editing, or cross-cutting, it's also called. And that's essentially where they're switching back and forth between two scenes. We see Charles on the track, he's there training, he's running and there's no crowd. And then we cut in a moment after to him there in the competition with the large audience around him. And by showing these two realities that are happening in two different places and two different times, it's building tension. It's showing us a little snapshot of what's going on inside of Charles' mind and what he's working towards. He doesn't need to tell us that he's going for gold and going to win the Olympics and even trying to run in the Olympics in the first place, because we can see it. And so it's showing and not telling us. A far worse way to do this technique is by saying, I want to win gold, or I'm going to run in the Olympics. It's like, thanks, but you haven't really advanced the story in a really meaningful way. And so it's actually good to allow your audience to do a bit of the work by using a technique like cross-cutting, so there's blanks that they have to fill in, and it's still fairly obvious what's going on. The other thing is, as we get closer to the end, the cuts get faster and faster, and so it's building the tension. And that's why this is more of a story than just a product post, because there's conflict to this. You don't know if he's going to win. There's competition, and it's not just him training on the track. And that builds and builds and builds until it resolves and the crowd cheers. A funny note, and I don't know if this was intentional, but the length of this video is 21 seconds. And you're like, okay, Elijah, what's the point? Well, Charles's record 200-meter time is also 21 seconds. So I don't know, again, I don't know if this was intentional, but if it is, editors, fantastic job. That's pretty neat. Okay, now we're getting into some serious views. We're looking at a clip Nike did. They got 6.3 million views. It's called Winning is Winning. Let's play the clip.
They say just being here is winning. Participating is winning. Last time I checked, winning is winning.
One thing I think we can agree on is that Nike's done a killer job with this campaign at telling stories and building amazing tension. And so the first technique that they're using here is rhythm. You'll notice at the beginning they're cutting to the music and they're going da 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 da. But then every now and then what they'll do is they'll break the rhythm and they won't cut to the music, or they'll wait a bit longer on the next clip. And so this building expectation and then breaking it makes the audience pay attention to something in particular. And so I think it's really important when you're editing your fashion films that you do consider the rhythm that you're creating with the cuts. Actually look at the length of time you have for each clip. And you could say 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 4 seconds. And when it doubles, you know that the audience is going to start paying attention in that moment. The thing to look out for with rhythmic editing is the balance. Because if you're too repetitive, your viewers get tired. Too sporadic, and your viewers get confused. What do I mean? If I'm always cutting on the beat of the music, and my viewers get it, and they know that I'm always gonna cut there, and there's nothing that changes, I'm gonna click off. I'm bored already. I want something that's going to surprise me. But if you're always surprising, nothing's surprising. And in fact, I'm just getting confused. I'm saying this doesn't look purposeful. It feels a bit unintentional, and I don't know where to focus my intention. They need direction, and that is your purpose as a video editor when you're in post-production for your fashion film. Notice also that they don't cut to the close-up of the girl's face until the end of the film. And why do they do that? It's because they're showing you the most important part. Again, they're using the rhythm. They say, cut to the music, cut to the music, cut to the music, stop. The music fades, the cut stops, we see her face for the first time, and that's when she says, last time I checked, winning is winning.
Winning is winning.
Oh, there's the punchline. That's the punchline. And so you want to plan out, where is the punchline of your film, of your Instagram video, whatever it may be. Where is it going to be? Where's the payoff going to be? The point in which the hook is rewarded. Thank you for staying to the end. Here's what you're asking for. And that is so satisfying. Plus, leading up to that moment, the music, it gets louder and it gets faster, and it is so wonderfully done. Well done, Nike. I also want to show you a sub video that Nike made in this series that includes the girl, and I want you to notice the close-up of the girl at the end. That's Beatrice Vio, and she's in this master video with all these athletes where it's not really about her, it's about the idea of winning in general. But what Nike does is they create these master videos which feature many people, and then what they do is they create sub videos underneath them, which include the athletes in their individual stories. And so have a look at this video of Beatrice.
Have you ever had someone come at you with a sword while fixed to a chair with no option to retreat? No options. Except attack. I love it.
I hope this is giving you some ideas as a clothing brand to see how you could gather a group of people that all share some kind of lifestyle element with your brand, how you could make one master video and then many little sub videos that focus in on them as individuals. And there's a couple of reoccurring techniques that I want to point out with this video too. You'll notice in the beginning when Beatrice has her eyes closed, there's the crowd and it's roaring, and then she opens and then everything fades away to silence. Nike's been doing this with the past videos, and for many of the videos that you'll continue to see, it's juxtaposing two things to create intensity. It's juxtaposing the loudness and silence, or juxtaposing lots of things happening or things moving very quickly or quick cuts with very slow motions. And that's exactly what's happening here. And what it symbolizes is we're going into her head, and now we're seeing what she's thinking, and we're really getting the close-up into her thoughts, not just actually the close-up. Also, when I watched this video, I noticed a real Edgar Wright influence. And Edgar Wright was a film director that was famous for this editing style of very quick jump cuts that show the passing of time in a very short sequence. He directed films like Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver, so you might know some of them. But it's a really cool way to juxtapose intensity of having slow cuts which are strung out over 5 to 10 second clips, and then with very short clips of only 1 or even half a second. And that's exactly what Nike is doing here when she gets strapped into the chair and when there's the quick cuts of the swords. They're jump cuts that create this intensity. And I think the takeaway is, instead of just creating a standard video, pull stylistic influences from different sources that you've seen, whether it be in films, in TV shows, in other Instagram pages. They even go beyond the realm of fashion, because otherwise you'll end up looking like a copycat brand. So the action step here is, dear brand owner, have a look at other niches, other industries to draw inspiration. And hey, by the way, this is your personal invitation to join me in the Super Fan Club, the space for fashion entrepreneurs building clothing brand communities. We're going to teach you how to turn your customers into super fans. And there's 3 things that you get access to inside. First, there's a 5-part clothing brand community course. Then you'll get access to a network of hundreds of other brand owners, as well as a free one-on-one onboarding call. And the best part is that it costs $0. So what's the catch, you're asking? Well, here it is. Only 33% of applicants actually get in, because we are only looking for the most committed brand owners. So if you're game enough, click the link in the description below and apply now for free. I'll see you on the inside. All right, the views are getting pretty high now. This next campaign video we're looking at has 15.2 million views. We're getting closer and closer to that 18 million view mark. This is gonna blow you away.
Am I a bad person?
All right, I know you want to watch the video. I need to stop it immediately, because isn't it wild that the first thing they say is, am I a bad person, with the image of a child on the screen? Why is this crazy? Because it's a kid. Like, it's a kid. And you're saying, am I a bad person? But what they're doing here is they're juxtaposing the most innocent with the most violent language. A child, a kid who's barely capable of hurting a fly, with the words, am I a bad person? It's amazing, right? It's amazing. Well, we can talk about the ethics of it, but from a marketing perspective and from juxtaposing 2 ideas, it's pretty good. It's like the same in horror films, when the most scary things usually aren't monsters. They're actually the kids and the dolls. That's why we always see the dolls, that recurring motif of a doll in a horror film. It's because it's actually freaky to have a really innocent object be turned into something evil. And so I get the feeling that that's what they're doing here as well.
Tell me, am I? I'm single-minded. I'm deceptive. I'm obsessive. I'm selfish. Does that make me a bad person? Am I a bad person? Am I? I have no empathy. I don't respect you.
Do you notice that they're actually listing the traits of their target customer with this video? Now, it's not to say that their people are actually deceptive and they lack empathy, but maybe on the sports field they do, because they're highly competitive. And I think that is the target customer of Nike. And so they're in the process, they're creating a common enemy of people that say things like sports is just for fun. It's the non-competitive types. They're not the type that are going to buy from Nike, and they're totally okay with that. In fact, those kinds of people are probably going to hate a video like this. Whereas those that are highly competitive, that look up to these sporting legends, that maybe even want to be like them, they're going to watch this, and it's going to make them want to buy.
I'm never satisfied. I have an obsession with power. I'm irrational.
All of these shots are close-ups. Like, that is really cool, because it brings us right into the scene. We get to see an angle that's not common to sporting, because usually we get the wide shot, right? Where we have all of these, all the sportsmen. I think about a soccer field. We need to see all the players. We need to see who they pass to. So it has to be zoomed out. But now it's cinematic, and so we feel like we're in their world. It's like this recurring close-up motif that's been throughout some of the videos that we've been watching from Nike. And even the fact that it's slow motion makes us feel like this is an important sporting moment. It's like the moment where you're about to shoot the goal, and 5 seconds feels like 5 minutes. And that's what's happening here, and I really love it. It's a really effective technique.
I have zero remorse. I have no sense of compassion. I'm delusional. I'm maniacal. You think I'm a bad person? Tell me. Am I? I think I'm better than everyone else. I want to take what's yours and never give it back. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine.
So cool, by the way, with that little, what's yours is mine. Oh, so cool. Like, the fact that they put that in the editing is such an amazing, that's so good.
Am I a bad person? Tell me, am I? Does that make me a bad person? Tell me, does it?
Every moment of this video is so captivating. It's amazing. I just love it. But I want to talk about the audio, the sound effects, the music, and the voiceover. And how about we start with the voiceover? You'll notice in the beginning it starts very monotone, like he's talking like this, like he's just can only speak in one tone. But then throughout the video, you'll notice he gives it some more flavor and some more color. But where he comes up here, and then he comes down here. And it has more depth as you journey throughout the video. And I think it adds, it's following the intensity of the video that we start very easygoing and then we end very intense. And also the music, it follows. You'll notice that in the beginning, although you have those very sharp hits of the strings, the beep boom, throughout the video and towards the end, those hits get faster and they get sharper and they get louder. And I think it also follows his voice. Secondly, the sound design. Now, this is an often overlooked element of video production. It's a more advanced technique where you're actually adding sound effects. We call it Foley. And it is to enhance the sound effects that are in the scene itself. And so we hear the basketball, we hear the people shouting, the crowd, and we hear some other sound effects, some other sound design, like rises that go and hits and bangs and pows. And this really enhances it so much. And I wish I could find a clip that just shows you the sound design without any music. It's so very effective and a simple technique that brand owners can include into their short films and any kind of campaign material in order to increase the intensity and just make it, like, level it up just that bit more. But the real question we're all asking, zooming out from all these techniques, is this ethical? To be saying, am I a bad person, and putting children on the screen? And are they bad people? I wouldn't like to think so. They're just kids. But let's have a discussion right in the comments. Do you think it's ethical for Nike to be making a campaign like this? What do you think? All right, we're on to the second last film in the Winning Isn't For Everyone series. It's Kimiya Alizade. This video has gotten 17.4 million views. We're getting closer and closer, more and more views every time. Let's watch it now.
I've lost a lot. I've lost fights, lost sleep, lost hours on the mat.
You see what they're doing? This is the parallel editing technique again. We've got someone preparing, they're putting on their gloves, and then speaking as well on a voiceover in a very solemn voice, very serious. It's quiet. And then you have the loud yelling on the other side of them actually in training, doing the thing. He's really got an intensity to it.
I've lost my voice, lost my rights. I lost my country.
And then this time they say it 3 times without cutting to the parallel. So this is the same thing. They've got this rhythm. Each time they're building an expectation. They're going to say one thing and then one yell. Say something and then a yell. But then they say, I lost my rights, I lost my power, I lost my 3 things. And so now you're really paying attention. They're really bringing you into the story.
I've lost everything. Except one thing. How bad I want to win.
Winning isn't for everyone. Well, the reason I included this video, beyond the fact that it got 17.4 million views, was that it has a really strong political message behind it. And so this lady, she's an athlete that was born in Iran. She left Iran because of female oppression, and so she became a refugee, and she was part of the refugee Olympic team in 2024. And when she says in this video clip that she's lost her rights, it carries a real weight. Nike is about more than just shoes. It's about more than just sports. They're standing for something beyond. They're standing for sexism, against oppression, and against defection. And there's something really powerful about doing that. And it's something vulnerable as a company, because they are putting themselves in harm's way as a company, really. Because they're saying, look, we're going to stand for this, and you might be against it. You might think XYZ that's different to our political views. But even still, we're going to stand for this. And that's when you get these love-hate relationships. And it's a fantastic way to build communities, because all of a sudden, people can't sit on the fence with your brand anymore. If you take a political stance, they have to decide whether they're for or against you. But these marketing techniques aside, I think we need to address the fact that it's actually important to stand for something that you truly believe in, and not just in order to sell more products. I think there is a greater purpose that gives your work meaning and gives your work passion that money simply cannot drive. I think that's important to say, because we can lose sight, we can think of money as the goal, when really it's a means in order to achieve a deeper purpose. And we can cut to the purpose right now if we simply can stand for something that goes beyond the clothing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you've been waiting for. This video that you're about to watch got 18.5 million views, and it's only a fashion campaign. I'm so excited. Let's watch now.
It's inspiring when we think about it. Every 4 years, teams come from around the world to compete. For second place.
It's so good. It makes me melt every time. It feels like a normal video at first. Like inspiring. Oh, this is about how athletes is so inspirational. And then they hit you with to compete for second place. Oh, wonderful. So let's break this down. It starts quiet and slow, and then over time, as the tension increases, it gets fast and loud. But I want to go a bit deeper and explain the concepts to you of diegetic and non-diegetic sound. So diegetic sound is anything that originates within the world of a film. For example, in this case, it's going to be the sounds of the shoes squeaking, the basketball, the shouting and yelling. These sounds actually exist within the scene. And then there's non-diegetic sound, which is anything added in post-production that isn't a part of the film's world. For example, the voiceover, the music and the rises, or the drums. They're not actually there on the basketball court with them, but we enhance the emotion that we're feeling by adding something that's external to the world. And so in the beginning, you'll notice there is no diegetic sound. We don't hear any of the shoes squeaking. We don't hear any basketball. We don't hear any shouting or yelling, or at best it's muffled. And so this technique puts us in the mind, in the head of the subject. And so if you're ever thinking that I want to make it feel like we are in someone's mind, that's how you do it. Remove any sound from the world and just only include the non-diegetic sounds, so the music or the voiceover or whatever else. And then as it gets more intense, more of the diegetic sound comes in. We hear the screaming, the yelling, the shoes squeaking, and the basketball, of course. And oh boy, is it effective. Finally, notice that the script is simple. I counted, it's 20 words in 40 seconds. 20 words in 40 seconds. A lot of you guys are writing 100-word scripts. My question to you is, what is your 20-word script? And actually, I want to challenge you on this. If you were to had to confine yourself to writing a script of 20 words for a fashion film that was meant to inspire people to do something according to your brand, it's in line with your brand identity. Write a 20-word script on it, see what comes of it. Heck, maybe you'll have a new film for your next drop. Okay, now it's time to have a big picture look at how many views they've got, how many posts, to maybe give you some insight into how much you should be posting around your next clothing drop. So in total, they posted 52 times for the Winning Isn't For Everyone campaign. And in all, these were 18 videos and 34 carousels. They posted over 55 days, and at the peak, they were posting 6 times per day, which shows you that there's no real limit to how much you can post in one day. So you don't need to worry about that. It's probably only posting too little that would be a concern. In total, they got 207,972,000 Instagram views, which is not even counting the people that saw the posts and carousels but didn't like them, because there's no real way to quantify that. So it's most definitely even more than that. And to give you some idea of what 200 million views is, it's about 62% of the entire population of America, which is absolutely nuts when you think that 62% of the entire population of America saw the Winning Isn't For Everyone campaign. That's kind of effective. You did well. But what's interesting is that despite the views, Forbes released an article where they tested this campaign with real customers. And they said of the 150 customers that were tested, the campaign performed lower than average for brand closeness and likelihood for customers to choose the brand. And that's really because they say that the data shows that advertising which demonstrates creativity in combination with empathy has a 20% stronger performance than average. I don't know what you make of that, but this whole negative view on an Olympic campaign with the Winning Isn't For Everyone has not gone down with everyone. And so, again, let's have a discussion in the comments. What do you think? Is this ethical? Do you think this would make you buy? Or is this going to make you repelled from Nike? And is that such a bad thing? Who knows? But thanks very much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful to you in creating your next storytelling campaign so you can grow a great community. And by the way, if you haven't already, join the Super Fan Club. There's a link in the description to apply for free. And I have a table of all of the campaigns with all of the views that were in the Winning Isn't For Everyone Nike campaign that you can access for free as long as you're in that community. But it's not going to be on access anywhere else. So join now, get access to the table where you can analyze and look at these videos in depth for yourself. I'm Elijah. Thanks very much for watching. Please hit subscribe and I'll see you for the next video.